welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a first impressions video today. The Perfecting Liquid Foundation from Arbonne. That's the packaging. That's the little packaging it came in. This is the product here. Comes in 30 mils, which is quite standard. I'll read a little bit about it. It's a multitasking liquid foundation with the skin firming properties. Helps lift the appearance of facial contours and smooth and evens out skin tone while providing sun protection. Directions on how to use it. It says apply prior to sun exposure, dispense foundation and apply to entire face. Blend well with fingers or a sponge. A little bit about I'm just reading from the website there. Pure, safe and beneficial. So they are a vegan company. They are a gluten-free company and they do not test on animals and they do not have any bioproducts of animals either. So that is really good. I'm getting more and more into natural with everything. So I thought this company looks really interesting for me. So the next step, which I'll do on a whole skincare routine later on, but I do want to use some of their skincares. The actual lady that I did meet, which was the consultant, actually gave me a 3-day golden bag, which is a whole entire face range. So you can try it for 3 days to see how you feel, which I thought was a really good selling point for me. But however, I've just stocked up on my skincare, but definitely when I start running out, I'm going to give Arbonne a try, I think. I thought I'd just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I have a nice clean face. I have cleansed, toned and moisturized and I've let it sink in. Alright, the first step I'm going to do, I'm doing my normal routine as I would with any other foundations to see how well it works with all my normal products. Including like my under eye concealer that I use all the time. I've got a new blemish concealer that I'm trying as well. I do have a review on this, but I'm waiting as I wasn't totally happy with the foundation that I chose. So I'm getting another one sent back from that one. So I'll do that review a little bit later. This is a Smashbox water primer. The smell of this is incredible. Let's tell you a little bit about this one too. This is prime by misting to create your sheerest canvas for makeup, hydrates the skin for hours, revitalizes complexion to boost radiance. So it's pretty much just like if you ever have any face mists. It's like a face mist with a bit of properties to prime. However, for me and my skin, I've got quite a lot of oily skin, so I can't just use it by itself. Use a Photo Finish Pore Minimizer Primer. The coverage that I look for is sort of a medium coverage with a little bit of full. I don't like it too caked on, but I do like to hide my redness. The only time I'll wear full heavy foundations is for special occasions like weddings and things, but for every day or for events that I go to, I still want to look like me, but just a little bit more enhanced with the properties of makeup. Alright. So I'll let that sink in a little bit. I'm using my Chi Chi face sponge to apply my foundation. The reason why I like to use a sponge compared to a foundation is I find that this does a flawless coverage and quicker. If I want to take my time and put a few layers in, I will use a flat top dense foundation stipple brush. I tend to use this a lot more. Alright, so I'm going to do a couple of pumps on the back of my hand. So I'll show you the consistency here. It's definitely not a thick consistency, but it's definitely not too runny either. Like you can see, it doesn't run too fast, but it's definitely not thick and it's not uber runny. It's sort of a happy in between. Alright, so the shade, that I chose is Honey Beige. It's in the neutral category. So I like to just do a few dots all over my face, blend in, and then I'll have a look in the mirror and then decide where I need more coverage, and then I will only apply the foundation in those areas. Alright. Definitely doesn't smell like sunscreen. Like for me, I find that some foundations that have SPF tend to have that sunscreen smell, and I don't like that. Okay, so I am finding that this product is getting soaked up quite a bit from the sponge, so I might opt for using the brush. I don't use any extra product and I always just make sure I blend down the neck. That's probably a pet hate of mine when I see this big foundation line. Okay, so first thin layer is done. Now, if I was going somewhere very quickly, catching up with a girlfriend, one layer would actually be quite a nice light coverage. So it has taken out some of my redness, but not all of it, as you can still see. On someone that doesn't have blemishes, this one layer would be quite a nice medium coverage. Okay, so I'm actually going to change to the black canvas F20 brush. I don't grab any more product. I've still got quite a bit on from the 2 pumps that I use. I'm just using with my finger. I'm just going to apply another thin layer everywhere. I'm just going to, any excess that's on my hand. It blends beautifully. It doesn't feel thick anywhere. It feels so super thin. The second layer did hide a lot more of the redness. There's still a little bit showing through, but that's what I need concealer for. A foundation's not going to completely get rid of everything. Foundation is just the base layer, and that's why you've got under eye concealers and blemish concealers. One product can't get rid of absolutely everything. So I like the colour match. It looks really natural and pretty, yet it still hides and covers a lot of the blemishes. Okay, first impressions looks really good. I'm really liking it. Okay, so next I'm going to use this Younique Mineral Touch Concealer. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. I'm going to use this just with my finger and popping it on any blemishes. I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend it all in. By Under Eyes. Now it looks like I'm using a lot of product, and I am. I do not like my under eyes. Put it down a little bit on your forehead and nose and a little bit through your chin, just to blend out through the center of your face, so the highlighting points, and that'll blend it all together rather than just leaving this area here to be ghostly white. Use this ambient lightening palette, radiant light shade, which is this one here. These are incredible. I'm using the very natural color in this to set all over. It's just a really pretty setting powder, but with a little bit of a glowy sheen to it, so it makes the skin glowy rather than matte, like normal translucent powders are designed to do. This doesn't have a real colour to it, so you can use it as an all-over powder. This doesn't take away the slightly highlighting that the under eye concealer did, but as you can see, it just gives that skin just this natural beauty and radiant glow. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup off camera, and I'm going to come back in a few hours to see how I'm going. But overall, with the first impressions, first layer, it has applied beautifully. There's no cakiness. It feels super, super light. It's done a beautiful job at evening out my skin. And I would say with the second layer, definitely a medium to full coverage. Hello. I thought I would do a quick check-in. The foundation is absolutely beautiful. Usually I separate right here and there's no separation, there's no cakiness build up anywhere, hasn't faded anywhere. Still looking stunning. ignore the child. So I won't be able to do another video later as I don't have any lighting set up for nighttime, so it's getting dark now, so I thought I'd quickly check in. So far I really like the liquid formulation. It's not too thick and heavy, but it's not too runny either, and you have time to blend it and you can layer it without it going cakey. I did have to use 2 layers though to get a full coverage for my skin, but I think for normal to slight combination skin you'll need 1 layer and it'll have beautiful coverage. For me though, with oily and quite blemished skin, I did need a few extra layers. I think it might be one of my new top 5, so that's very exciting. So how I've been applying my foundation lately is by foundation sponge, or